was 07, 08. I build my first couple mortgage companies, build one, sell it, build another one. We get into financial services, life insurance, financial education. We run the largest cash flow board game nights on the West Coast. 300, 400, 500 people. I've got like 250 to 300 cash flow board games. We're playing board games. We're getting people making money. We're helping to refinance. We're doing investment deals. We're doing all this, but we were not entrepreneurs. We were hustlers. So then 08 hits.
That you said something I think really profound there that might have just gone over a lot of people's heads. Can you say that one more time?
We were not entrepreneurs. We were hustlers.
Yeah, dude, that hits home for me because that was the same way. I'm a door-to-door guy, 100% commission, door-to-door, several years training, managing, just knocking doors, hustling. And then you get into entrepreneurship and you think that you're invincible because of how you did well in this other game. And then you start going like, oh, that's only like one aspect of a business. There's like 7 other things now that I have to learn that I did not expect I was going to have to learn. So what made you realize that you were not an entrepreneur?
My business like melted before my eyes. Like
during the crash.
Yeah, so pressure hits. I wouldn't lose my business now. But then like I was sitting in this place of we were riding so forward on the edge, and like everybody, like there's a whole group of people right now, there are realtors, mortgage brokers watching this show, and you're fucked. Because the only time you knew how to make money was on a rising market with a refi boom where real estate was going up and everything was going up. And now you're going to find out real quickly like we did that you were a hustler and you're not an entrepreneur. And the idea of being able to hustle, it only works so far. Entrepreneurism is a commitment to becoming a kingdom builder. I'm a king building kingdoms, not a soldier or a warrior making sniper shots. Like I can be a warrior and kill, and that's great. Some people are born to do that, and they're born to work for kings. They're born to be under the shield and the protection of the king. And I was not a king at the time. So when the game came in, I had no foundation, no emotional fortitude, no mental idea of how to lead and help everyone get through this fucking time. And so we lost everyone. Let all of our teams go, almost 100 people. I had to let every person go, let my mom go, my brothers go, let everybody go. And then I made the biggest mistake ever. I thought I could just take all my personal money and throw it at the business and it would fix it. And that didn't work. So then I had no money myself. The business is shut down. I have no path. I've never made money doing anything else outside of serving tables. Our lifestyle is now like $25,000 to $40,000 a month, which was not a problem with the fact that we were taking home several $100,000 a month. So people are like, you should live in your means. I'm like, motherfucker, I was living in my means. I don't give a fuck what you're doing. If your money stops, you're no longer in your means. It's like it wasn't about $25,000 when I'm making $250,000 a month. I was like, this was a time of change that I was not prepared for. And what I didn't know was happening was God was about to get my attention in the biggest way. It was like I was going to be brought to my fucking knees, and it was the roots of what would become the Wake Up Warrior movement.
This is, you said, 07, 08, so if I'm tracking right, you're 32, 33, somewhere in there, and everything crashes. Where do you go from there besides deep depression?
Barefoot, mala beads, grow my hair out, and I leave the religion I was raised in.
Interesting.
I cheat on my wife. I become heavily addicted to vodka and alcohol, and I just let go. Like I got to this place where it was just like I was done. I couldn't fight anymore. And there was this moment of just like I knew it. Like I was sitting in the car talking to one of my mentors, and I'm looking in the mirror and tears are pouring down my cheeks, and I have no fucking answers. I don't know what to do. I'm terrified. I'm alone. I have nobody to talk to. I have no guys to there was no way. Like the minute I was being honest with a guy, it would make the guys be weird, and they get fucking guys. We weren't honest. So then everything was bravado, chests out. There was no real talk. You couldn't be vulnerable about your problems. There was nothing. So I had no one to go to. No one. And when the religion I was raised in, there were no answers. The men I knew, there was no answers. And I was always the guy providing jobs, giving everyone everything. And all the people, I gave hundreds of thousands of dollars to different people just because they needed help. And then, of course, the minute I need help, no one shows the fuck up.
That's the thing about being the king, right?
Yeah, trying to be the king at the time.
Right.
So that piece was like this moment where it's like I had a singular episode happening on a treadmill. It was weird. Was running ultra marathons at the time, just kind of running from life, but also like God was using it as a tool to help me build a weapon in a mind and body that would let me endure pain for long periods of time and not stop. And I was trained mentally how to do this. It's how I was able to build the last 10 years of Wake Up Warrior Movement and do what we've done. Because I just have this chip in my brain from ultra running of, I don't care if I fucking hurt. Not getting up is not an option. It doesn't matter how shitty it is. I'm fucking going no matter what. Don't care if it's raining, I'm running. I don't care if it's snowing, I'm running. I don't care if I'm throwing up, I'm running. I don't care, I'm gonna fucking go. And in that pocket was the beginning stages of this one call on my life. I was watching Joel Osteen on a treadmill. He was on TV, big ass TV in a basement of this unfinished house we were renting. And I'm running on this treadmill and I'm like, just don't even know how I end up watching Joel Osteen. And this message, this question comes in, which is, if I lead you to these stages, will you say what I need you to say? I got nothing at the time. I got no money. I got no business. I got no direction. My wife hates me. I have nothing. I have nothing. I have nothing. I have no one and I have nothing. And this question comes. And I stop on a treadmill, and I remember standing on both sides of it, and the treadmill's passing through my legs, and I look at the TV, and I look up at the ceiling, it's unfinished. I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. And the minute that happened, the call began. I had to be brought to my fucking knees. I had to experience prosperity and then be brought to my knees. I had to be led to take a knee to the King. And then from that place, God would begin to formulate this methodology for living called the Warrior's Way. And I started building it in my journals every day. And I started playing it with myself. No one else, just me and these journals. Started putting pieces together, ideas, concepts. Started doing things differently. And people started seeing things changing. And my wife saw me changing. And men around me saw me changing. So much such that by the time 2012 came, at the end of 2012, men started reaching out. Bro, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, what are you doing? Like, we saw you here, then we saw you here, now we see you here. Like, what are you doing, man? It's just too noticeable. It's like when I journeyed this year with medicine, my parents noticed such a radical difference in my being. And my family around me, people around me saw, my clients saw such a radical distinction in who I was being, that there was a natural draw to be drawn into and participate in whatever it was that I was doing because of who I was being, which to me is what modern leadership is. We're not following people because of what they say anymore. We're not following people because of the shit they think we should do. We follow people today in the one currency that actually matters, the currency of certainty. Certainty is a being. You can't fake it, you can't buy it, you can't purchase it from another person, it can't be borrowed. Certainty is either generated inside of a man or it is not. If you have certainty, you can create in chaos. If you have no certainty, like I did in 2008, you are destroyed in chaos. The chaos is not if it's here. Chaos has hit our society in every angle and every direction. Impacts of what's happening with vaccinations are now starting to show their ugly fucking face. Everything that's happening around us, from divorce to everything going on with kids and opiate addictions, and now all the kids fucking killing themselves with these pills right here in my own backyard. 82% divorce rate in Orange County. Human beings, generally speaking, cannot fucking figure out how to live. And in that place of uncertainty and in that place of chaos, men particularly are being assaulted and attacked and thrown into a fucking pit. Why? Destroy society. You want to turn people into slaves? Destroy the kings who actually have the power to rise up and build kingdoms that would defend against this fucking darkness. But you can't do this if you have a sedated, castrated king who's hiding in a fucking alley fucking a whore. This guy is clueless. He has no idea. He tries to drink it, pop it, smoke it. You can't fucking fake it. That's motivation bullshit. Running on fiery coals will not save you. Jumping out of a helicopter for a weekend will not save you. You'll either learn how to fucking generate it or you won't. And in that place of finding that certainty for myself, once I found the initial piece of it, the taste of this was so potent, it was so profound, that there was nothing, there was no one that I was not willing to sacrifice to continue to maintain it. There was nothing in me, no secrets. There was nothing, because part of the formula was truth. There was a connection directly to God in truth. And when I spoke it, when I felt it, when I knew it, I didn't have to have the money, the success. I didn't have to have any of that to start. I had to have truth. And so this little ember, this fiery ball of truth, sat as my initial weapon. And I'd walk into rooms of men who had way more than me, men who had bigger businesses, who had better situations in life, and they deserved it. They had done it. But I would walk in this thing they didn't even have, which is this: I don't have anything to hide.